Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Pod Talks with myself, Richie Bra, and Daniella Del Carpio. How are you, Daniela?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Have you been enjoying the Olympics so far, Paris 2024?
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit, not too much to be honest. I don't keep up with that. But yeah, I've been watching a few things, and I think like the major thing that has stood out to me, or maybe something I want to tell you guys, I don't know if you guys have realized this, but those athletes that go up there, obviously they have been training for years and years and years and years, and they're so committed to what they do, and they're so disciplined, and they're like next level crazy. But
Mm.
one thing that all those athletes have in common is that every single one of them have coaches. And they wouldn't be where they are right now if they didn't have that coach. Yes, they are the one doing that work, of course. They're putting so much work and effort and money into this. But if they didn't have that coach or those coaches helping them, they wouldn't be there because they wouldn't have that help in those resources, in that support from that coach or those coaches. And I think that's just a great reminder for you guys that even the best athletes in the world, they still work with a coach. Why? Because we are humans. We need someone to hold us accountable. We need someone to give us that feedback. We need someone to help us improve. And that's the one thing that I just, yeah, thought about when I think about the Olympics and when I watch, those girls running like that and like, doing the crazy things that they do. It's like coaches are there for a reason. And I think even the best of the best, they do have coaches for a reason as well. So that's something for you guys to think about once you listen to this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree with you, any more on this subject as well, because I think that's the thing, especially when it comes to health and fitness. I feel people often think that they can just Google a few things or they know it. And look, these athletes, they are talented. They have the knowledge in their sport. They have the training ethic. They have all those things. They know everything. Why are they not just using Google to
Mm.
draw them out a program or just finding something or buying something that they need specificity, and that's what a coach does. A coach actually isn't there just to guide you or to push you harder. A coach that they have that objective view as well with what's going on. They can take a step back and actually go, right, this is what's going on. And if you have a look at even some of the sprinters, like it's just that encouragement, it's that voice in your head. And for many of these athletes, it's them knowing that they've got someone on their side regardless, and they work very closely together. And this is the same thing transparently with fitness and lifestyle coaching as well. It's not just Daniela and I just going, here's a plan and get on with it. It's us changing things as time goes on and really finding out what works for you and what we need to change. And is this way working? Let's try this. Or what other pressures have you got going on outside of wanting to succeed on a fitness program? What other things do you have going on outside? Is it work stress? Is it life, relationships, all those things? And this is the thing, like, those coaches support those athletes on exactly the same problems as you ladies face as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's why we always talk about like investing in yourself
Yeah.
because it is an investment, and I think we made that clear a long time ago. It's an investment. It's not cheap, yes, but you get what you pay for, and you're also paying to feel better about yourself and to be healthier and to be that version of yourself that you want to be, to be that amazing version of yourself. You're investing your time, you're investing your money, you're investing, or you're
Mm,
making the effort. So it's all those things that, yeah, I think people often forget, and they just like, yeah, I can do it on my own, just Google exactly how you said, or
yeah.
I just copy whatever my friend is doing or whatever my sister is
Yeah.
doing. We're all different. Like, just because it works for someone else, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Yeah, so many things for you guys to
Oh,
think about.
definitely. And you'll find that even like if we take simply the sports in the Olympics, like the gymnastics, for example, or we talk about the athletics, they have a number of women and athletes on the same team doing the same runs. They might even have
Mm.
the same coaches. Like, I know we didn't see too much from the female, Jamaican sprinters, but I do know that they have the same coach, and or a
Mm.
lot of them do have come from the same club and stuff. And again, just doing the same thing because you're on the same team doing the same sport is not specific enough. And that's the same for you girls. You're not going to get your friend might be following a coach and you'll think, oh, I'll just follow what they're doing, but it's not for you. It's been made specifically for them. So it's just, these are all things to consider as well. But yes, I'm loving the Olympics. I've been following it very, very hard, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell you get excited. I've seen a few things, on TV. When I'm at the gym, they always play at the gym, or like TikTok. It's all over social media as well.
And there's controversy as well. And I touched on this recently on a podcast episode as well about just the controversies that are around surrounding women with non-European white ethnic backgrounds, and how our body shapes and body types are different, how we might have a certain ability to we might be more prone to building muscle, or more even prone to building fat, for goodness sake. It's just like we're all so different and unique. And I think that's just really important to note as well, is that body types, especially as you'll see in the Olympics, these women are super fit and athletic, and they all look entirely different. And that's the same thing, the message that, Daniella and I want to portray as well to you, that your body is, you have your own capacity, your own potentials as well, and it shouldn't be compared to anybody else's journey or what their body type looks like. When when Daniella and I train, we are going to have different outcomes. We're not the same person. So even our ethnicity as well will play a part in those factors as well, in terms of how we build and shape as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what we always say, like, comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah.
Because we as humans, and it's part of just being a human, we like to compare ourselves, this girl is doing, or this girl's progressing more than me, whatever. And another thing that I've noticed as well, that I think one mistake that people often make, it's like they see this girl on Instagram with an amazing physique, and they're like, I want to be this girl. I want to have the exact same physique. I want to have the same glutes. I want to have the same upper body, same lower body, which is great to have an idea in mind. Like, yeah, I want my body to be like that. But just because you're working out, it doesn't mean that your body's gonna look exactly like that girl. So just, be careful when you are buying products from fitness influencers, that they tell you, if you have this program, if you do this program, you're gonna get, the exact same results as me, get the same booty gains, get the same, whatever gains they're making. It's not gonna be like that. We all have different types. We all have different everything. So even if we do the same program exactly the same every single day, every single month, I can guarantee the results are not gonna be the same, and that's completely okay, because we're different individuals, we're different persons. So just don't compare yourself to anyone. Your journey is to find and stay focused on your thing.
Exactly. Brilliant. Just a couple of words from Daniella and I, but we've got just a little bit of time to maybe talk about some questions and stuff. So one of the ones that I've got is, what type of strength routine is the best to build muscle and lose fat? I'm in my 30s and I keep seeing different things online. Some people are saying that I should train 4 times a week. And then I see other people training like 5 days. Like, how do I know what's best for me and for my goals?
Yeah, I think we have touched on this question a little bit before, but I think our answer is going to be always the same. You just have to, the only way to find out what's best for you and to help you reach your goal of losing body fat and building muscle mass is just to do something that is going to work for you in your lifestyle, in your schedule. Because someone can tell you, yeah, you have to do 4 times a week, or you have to do 5 times a week. Is that going to be realistic for you? If yes, and 5 times are going to be realistic, go for it. But you also have to consider your fitness levels. Like, if you're just, brand new beginner, you don't know anything about the gym, you don't know anything about exercises, you've never stepped into the gym, you don't want to go from 0 to 100. I will never recommend to a beginner to go from going 0 times a week to the gym to going 5 to 6 times a week. I will always say, start with something a little bit list, like 3 times a week max, just to start with, just so you get used to the environment, so you get used to making or going to the gym, making it part of your routine, making it part of your week to week, finding that time that is going to work for you. Am I going to be training in the mornings? Am I going to be training at night times, lunchtime, whatever time works for you? Once you have that, and once you have that routine, once you're more familiar with the exercises, with the environment, then it's easier to add more things in the future. But yeah, my answer will be just find something that's going to be realistic, because if it's not, I can guarantee you will only stick to that for a little bit, and then you're gonna be like, this is getting too much. You know what? I'm just gonna stop with this. I'll give up. Like, this is not for me. And then you're gonna go from here to down here and nothing. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's the thing. It's important to realize that the emphasis on lifestyle, right? And your background or your experience in training as well. And when I say lifestyle, it's like, do you have kids? Do you go to work? Like, how many days of work are you working? And you doing shift work? How much time do you have? And like you said, like what time of day are you going to be exercising as well? It's all going to have an effect, So
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It all needs to be considered. Yeah.
Always think about everything. Okay, my next question, this one's more about nutrition, but someone asked me, how important is nutrition in achieving my fitness goal?
Oh, massively. Now, everybody's heard of the 80-20 rule. What I would say with the 80-20 rule, it's probably quite often more like 90-20 or 90-10. And the reason why I put so much emphasis on nutrition is because I think inherently, if you live an active lifestyle, or you try and live an active lifestyle, and then you maybe, you walk to work and you get a lot of steps in, or you have an active job or anything like that. And then let's say you only apply, and we come back to, the exercise, for example, you only manage to apply 2 to 3 days of training of, working out in the gym. If you prioritize strength training with them, and let's say it is 3 days a week, and as a woman, maybe you might do like, a full body day, a lower body day, and an upper body day, like as an example split. Now, that's just like, let's say 45 minutes to an hour for each of those sessions. Maximum you're spending on the fitness is really about 2.5 to 3 hours, right? As long as you live a nice, healthy, active, you try and get some steps in and stuff like that. Now, the nutrition is really the biggest downfall. This is where everybody makes the mistake. The training, the exercise is what shapes us, whereas the nutrition is the thing that is going to help drop, for example, the body fat, or create the weight loss, or help, whatever the outcome it is that we're looking for. Daniela, I'm not sure if I've lost you there for a minute.
Yeah, I was just gonna see a message. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi, your Wi-Fi. It was cutting a little bit.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm getting all these notifications coming through, guys. I'm so sorry. Did you hear me on
It happens.
Yeah, okay. So coming back to things again, yeah. So nutrition is massively important for the fat loss, or the weight loss, or the outcome, the toning, the building, everything. It comes down to how you're fueling your body. If we are looking at, let's say, for example, of the fat loss or the weight loss, you've got some body fat to reduce. You need to apply a deficit. Now, you could run on like a hamster on a wheel all day long. It's not going to happen unless you address what you're putting into your body, and you address what's on your plate and the composition of that plate as well, because we also need to look at nutrition when it comes to like helping, build muscle, or even like when we're in that deficit, maintain lean muscle as well, because you don't want to just become like this skinny sack of potatoes, because all you've done is, starve yourself and cardio. So it is important the type of training you do, of course, but there is a massive emphasis on nutrition that needs to be had. And I feel like sometimes when people are stuck, it's the last place that they think of. It's the last place that they think about changing something. They just go, or they're very like washy with it. There's no plan. They've bought an exercise plan online. You know, they're doing X amount of strength training exercises, X amount of cardio exercises or whatever. Like they've got all of the training down. And then when it comes to the nutrition, they just go, I'm eating clean. What does that mean? You're eating clean, but you could still be eating, you know, you could be having broccoli, beef, and potatoes, for goodness sake, right? And you could be eating mounds of that and not be in a deficit. And it's clean food, but it's, what is that doing for you? So I think it's just really important to consider nutrition. And it's, yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like people often, like you say, like they don't pay attention to the nutrition, and they're like, if they don't see results, they might be like, maybe I should add more cardio. Maybe I need to increase my workouts. Maybe I need to make them a little bit longer. And it's all about the workouts, but they forget like maybe I need to pay, pay more attention to my nutrition and see like, do I actually have something to follow? If I do, like, am I actually sticking to that thing that I'm following? Am I keeping track of what I'm doing? Am I changing things, see what's working, see what's not working? Because even let's say you have an injury and you need to stop training for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I can guarantee that you're still gonna make progress, or at least you're gonna maintain if you maintain the nutrition. Like if you focus on the nutrition because you have to rest because of your injury, but you can still make amazing progress just by focusing on your nutrition. Obviously, if we complement it with the training, it's gonna be perfect. But if you're not able to control the training for X, Y, and Z reason, the nutrition is gonna be the main thing that is gonna help you maintain, or is gonna help you keep losing weight if that's your goal, and keep making the progress that you have to make. Yeah. But we've got one more question. We can do it really, really quick. I've got one last question now.
Yeah.
This one's also to do with exercise.
Okay.
And the question is like, how can I use resistance bands effectively in my workouts?
Okay, interesting. So the resistance bands, the idea is that it will help either, so when you're training and you're doing like an exercise, right, you have a concentric and an eccentric and an isometric phase of an exercise itself, right? So what that means is you have, the squeezing of the muscle, the holding, and the lengthening. Now, what the bands do, if we look at the more complicated side of things, when you're seeing very advanced lifters use it, they might be using the bands to help assist them in certain portions of that movement, or they could be using the bands to actually apply more tension as well. Okay, so there's many ways that you can do it. You can apply tension in certain areas to make an exercise harder. You can also make it to help an exercise feel easier. I'm probably being quite advanced when I answer this question, but I know if we think about, take it back to us women and what we've seen a lot of on TikTok and Instagram, etc., and we're seeing people use bands. A lot of the time, the bands might be used in compound, and you have to understand what movement pattern it is that you're trying to achieve with the bands. So quite often you'll see people doing like hip thrusts and sticking a band around their leg. Like, why are we doing that? Are you trying to work on your hip thrust, which is hip extension, or are you trying to work on abduction, which is basically moving your hips out to the side or your thighs out to the side? Is the side booty. Now, trying to, obviously we have movement patterns that might in life that might use various different, rotations or movement ways. But when you're trying to isolate and really build an area, just chuck the band away, like focus on one thing at a time. If you're trying to improve your hip thrust, literally just improve your hip thrust and get rid of the band. Okay, so just go heavier, focus on the reps, focus on the form. Or if you're actually trying to help your abduction, so pushing, the side booty, then go and sit on an abduction machine and just load it. Again, obviously we need to make sure that we're applying the right tension, you've got the right technique, and you're really isolating the muscles that you want to. But adding bands, they just look fancy. And unless you are an Olympic athlete, if I'm honest, or you're a specific in a weightlifting category or anything like that, you don't really need to train or use bands to your workout. There's a reason why you see people doing them, and they usually have a reason why. Or you might see people doing the bands because they saw it on Instagram. And then that being said, when it comes to bands and resistance training, I think there's definitely something that can be said for home workouts, or even if you go on a holiday. Now, although you're not going to be increasing the load and getting stronger and stuff like that, you may apply some maintenance in that sense, that when you are on holiday and you can't go and train as normal, if you've got the bands in your bag, you can just get yourself like a little pump or a little exercise. You could work into your hamstrings and your glutes and your shoulders and stuff, just to kind of keep the muscles alive and working. So that would be the benefit. But bands are helpful, but they're not necessary, and they're great in rehab actually as well. So that's my piece.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're traveling or if you don't have any equipment for whatever reason, use the bands 100%, like Richie said. But if you're at the gym and you have that equipment, I think it's a waste of money. You don't need it at all. Maybe the band, like the resistance band, to help you warm up, I think that's perfect, because you have that to help you do your warm up. But don't try to get fancy. Don't try to use it for your hip thrusts or for your deadlifts or for your squats or for your, I even see people using the bands for lateral raises.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate anything. The more elements that you add, the more you're gonna complicate it, the more you're gonna be thinking about different things that are not working, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I don't feel tension, this is not happening, this and that. Forget about the bands, stick with the basics, just dumbbells or barbell or whatever machine you're using. Nothing else. We don't need to, we're not athletes, like we're not professional athletes, we're not like those people, those girls at the Olympics. That's not us. Okay, unless that's you, obviously you wouldn't be listening to this, but just make it simple, make it very, very simple. But thank you guys so much for listening. Those were all the questions that we're going to answer today. We still have some questions that we're going to answer, not next week because I'm going to be away, but the week after. Don't forget to send us your questions. Any questions, challenges, concerns, please send it to us. Be specific, exactly how you did say, so we can help you with that. We can help you overcome those challenges. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to share it on your social media. Tag me and tag Richu on Instagram. Until next time, and as I always say, don't ever stop believing in yourself. Ciao, ciao.